Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. We're here on the rooftop of Sri Radhakunj with our brahmacharis for our sloka class and Shikshastakam. So first we're going to talk about why do we take the time to actually study and try to memorize and learn these things. So this is an important topic. We're working so hard with Shikshastakam, Vedanta Sutra, and all these other spiritual books. So what's the point, people may ask? There's so many videos. For those watching online, for those devotees here, why spend so much effort? Morning class, then afternoon class, evening class, midday class. In Radhakunj every day, we are counting today. Right now there's 7 classes every day. Pujapad Gopananda Banmars is giving morning and evening. Krishna Guru is doing 2 classes. We're having our sloka class and brahmachari class. Then Prabhuji has his nighttime class, and then the ladies, the Ganga Matas, they also have their own class for the ladies. Right? And then the rest of the day kirtan. So why study so much? So this is an important thing that you see from young age. People go to school, right? Obviously. If you don't go to school, then you end up just living like you may learn in other ways, but generally you won't be able to be so materially successful. So we want to be spiritually successful, so we need to have spiritual study, because it's what separates us from animals in reality. In the Sastra it says Dharmena hina pasubhi samana, that if we don't follow dharma, sanatan dharma, then we're the same as animals. Because the difference between human beings and animals is that human beings have the ability to become successful, you can say. Animals, what do? They just maintain their basic life. They try to get some place of shelter, they try to get something to eat, they try to maintain their family, they try to protect themselves, get food, and then ultimately they dwindle and they die. And human beings generally we see, ahar nidra baya maitunancha. We are eating, ahar, nidra, sleeping, maitunancha, mating, and baya, which means fear, and also the counterpart of fear is that we are working hard to defend ourselves or protect ourselves or fight with others. So these 4 things are similarities between human beings and animals: eating, mating, sleeping, defending. Defending has, in Sanskrit, it says bayam, fear. And this manifests in this world when you're afraid, then you work hard to secure yourself, or defend yourselves, or protect yourself from the environment, from other people, or from other forces. So if we only spend our time living like animals, then what's the point of having gained this human form of life? That's why it said, Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahusambhavante. It's an important verse to learn. Labdva sudurlabham. You can write it down. We'll memorize it afterwards for those who don't know it already. It means that the human form of life is very rare and very special. But if we don't utilize that special gift of reason, and not only reason, but ability to follow dharma. Because if we only use our intellect or reason and ability to be successful, to be materially successful, then we're just more advanced animals. Prabhupada would say, you know, the dogs are running back and forth, looking very busy. But they go far away and pass urine to mark their territory and run back. And we are in our highways running back and forth. What are we doing? Trying to get wealthy so we can show that we are the alpha male or the alpha matriarch. Right? We're running in our highways back and forth. Prabhupada would say, Gurudev would also say, this is like dogs running back and forth, marking their territory, showing that I'm so supreme. So if we only use that gift of human life, which is higher reason and ability to follow these goals of life, right? Human beings have purushartha. Animals don't have purushartha. Purushartha means you have a goal of life. Animals, their goal of life is, they're not like worrying about 10 years in the future. Wow, look at that cloud. It's like an atom bomb. It's like it's growing. No worries. Very beautiful. Animals, they don't have like ability to think like, I'm going to become successful in spiritual life or materially successful, you know. They live off of like habit, and not only habit, but like whatever their impulses are. And so if we only use our human reason and our powers of intellect for doing activities that the animals can do, then we may have a skyscraper, the beaver has a dam. What's the big difference? So why we study these things is that we can make use of our human form of life and our ability to develop spiritually. That's why it's said that human beings have purushartha. It means goals in life. And a goal means that you want to achieve the goal, then you become successful. So there are different kinds of goals. Economic development, meaning becoming wealthy or being very happy. If you look at like the self-help literature in the world now, there's different categories. Like, I want to become wealthy. Then how to deal with money, how to invest, how to start your own business. Okay, there's that area. That's artha, economic development. This is one of the goals of human life in the Vedic literature. Second one is kama, trying to enjoy, be happy. That's another area of self-help literature. How to be happy, what is the secret to happiness, secret to success in your relationships, to be happy, right? Then you have like pious activity, philanthropic activity, dharma, so-called materialistic religiosity. And then ultimately like salvation, freedom. But all these things are considered to be bound by material conceptions. But the real human goal of life is Pancham Purushartha Krishna Prem, achieving ultimate divine love, or this spiritual embodiment in your spiritual identity, your spiritual form, and the awakening divine love. So that's the real goal of human life. So that's why we study. We study to achieve that. And if we study these things and then only apply our learning in, again, trying to do the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, like we may be studying bhakti, studying about Krishna Prem, studying about Vaishnava literature, but then we may apply it to become wealthy, to get many followers in temples, then this is still animal consciousness. If we apply our studies in these kinds of activities, of the ordinary activities, wealth, prosperity, material happiness, then this is wasting our potential, especially we're using something very high for something more low. So why we study is that we can follow it and actually achieve the success of our spiritual life. That's why we study. Because it gives us a great chance that the goal of life, we're starting our Vedanta series. What is the first sutra? Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now I shall inquire about the truth, the absolute truth. Janma Dasyata, from which everything manifested, in which everything is maintained. What is the cause of creation, maintenance, destruction? What is the cause of my own spiritual birth? And to achieve that, to follow that, that's why we study. And so we don't study become learned in this world. That is an anartha, an impediment. Jnane prayasam udabhasya namanteva. Studying for knowledge or the sake of gaining knowledge is an impediment in the process of devotion. This is actually something we need to get rid of. I want to study so I become very knowledgeable and wise. But that's jnane prayasam. Then this is covering bhakti. Rupa Goswami says, karma jnana anavritam. Don't cover your bhakti by karma or jnana. So if we study and we think I'll increase my karma, more followers, temples, prestige, then that becomes materialistic type of bhakti. And if we study just for increasing our learning, then this becomes also like an impediment. Now it's said that for bhakti you should study and you should develop your knowledge in bhakti, but the goal must be focused and centered. If I'm studying only for, I learned so many slokas, I know so much tattva, now I can speak and impress people, then it's like an anartha. So we want to study so that ultimately we can realize the subject matter in these great literatures of our Guru Varga, our line, and follow it in our lives and achieve the actual goal that they want to give us. Then our human life is successful. Otherwise, we may be materially successful, then we're just advanced animals. But we don't want to be advanced animals, we want to be real spiritual human beings. Gurudev would say, you're like a two-legged animal. No tail, no horns, but you're like an animal. If you do not take responsibility for your life to become spiritually successful by taking shelter of pure bona fide guru, serving that guru, then you can achieve your spiritual success and go to that spiritual realm and get your spiritual form, serve in that divine world. So that's why we study.